So I want to share that special technique with you today and help get you more bites. So everybody knows that the standard jig heads for minnow jig head style fishing, are a ball head jig. Here's the standard popular VMC one. You see this a lot of the time being thrown with the Mooch Minnow. I know that, for instance, Dustin Connell uses this one very regularly and has won some tournaments with it. So that's the standard. And then I see these, rolled jigs. This is a Japanese one with the weight really high, and it's intended to be able to roll back and forth. And you've seen the technique when they throw that Mooch Minnow out there on a jig head. They're trying to impart action on this tail section, the specially designed tail section, and that thing really moves around a lot just here in your hand. But when they put that standard ball head jig on it and then they shake it, it's called shaking the minnow, right? They get that tail action to move, and sometimes they can get this bait to roll back and forth as it's going through the water. So that takes a fair amount of skill. If you've watched those anglers do that, they're really working that thing, and they're working it the whole time. They're typically using a medium action rod, like a 7-foot medium action rod, with 10-pound braided line with a fluorocarbon leader to their jig head, casting it out, and then they're working it above the fish. That's very effective. It's won a lot of money. It's been a super fish catcher. But my methodology has been to use a different kind of a jig head that helps impart its own action. And I use a Scrounger head jig with my Mooch Minnow setup, and it's been super effective. And I found a high quality one at Davis Bait Company. Has a couple of different sizes, and I buy them both, and I get a 1/8 ounce one. And that 1/8 ounce jig does not overpower that Mooch Minnow. Here, I'll see if I can superimpose it on the Mooch Minnow for you there. You can see how a lot of the minnow is not covered up by hook, which can happen because the Mooch Minnow is not a big bait. It's a, trying to mimic your young of the year kind of bait fish and the kind of size bait fish that most bass are going to eat. So when things get finessey, you need a good, you can't overpower your Mooch Minnow. So what I like about the design of the Davis Bait Company Scrounger head jig is you'll see it's got lead poured down the shank, and so for a 1/8 ounce jig, it's very well balanced for a horizontal presentation. So that thing falls very horizontally,